It's me again, folks. Thanks for your company. This is for you, Aries, July 2021. The horoscope, we're going to animate that right now and get a view of what's going on, especially here in your fifth house of love affairs with Venus sneaking up there on Mars there. Look at that, like it does. Lust often does that, and then before you know it, you're lost. Lost in lust. We see that powerful conjunction, the fifth house, containing your ruling planet Mars here, and the ruler of your seventh house, which is the marital planet, in this house of love. So just little care to be taken there around the fifth. You can see there that very hard aspect to these planets by the moon, also making a conjunction of Uranus, which shows sudden, abrupt love affairs, one night stands, casual flings, all that sort of stuff. So be on guard. The one thing I want you to look out for as well is this position of the moon as it transits through this area of the horoscope. That will mean it's a new moon for you here in your fourth house. There it is there. We see the moon making its way to the conjunction of the sun, and that's going to take place just there on the 10th, or rather I'd say the 11th. There it is there, 10th, 11th, the new moon, and then that new moon moves into this area where just around the same time we have a very, very close conjunction of these two planets, creating a huge amount of passion, a great amount of creative enterprise, because that fifth house is creativity. It's also a competitive placement for you. You know, you're competitive at the best of times, but having that Mars there in your fifth house, and then around the 13th with the moon touching base with it, that's competitive time. You're rather impulsive throughout this period. There's Venus moving away around the 14th. So when the planets build up in that conjunction, it means the energy, the tension's building. It reaches a peak from around 8 degrees to the exact degree. And then, as you can see now, the planet Venus has moved away from that. The sun is there in your fourth house. Mercury moves in there as well this month. So there's a lot of attention, not only on the love and the lust, as I've mentioned, but also on your domestic affairs. Another point I'd like to bring up is this important retrograde movement of Jupiter, the planet that rules your ninth house and also your 12th house. As such, it's a strong karmic planet, and it's also very much a luck planet. It deals with your spirituality, and being in the 12th house, it would have activated that. It had moved away from this 11th house, but notice here it's now back at 0 degrees in its retrograde motion, and it's going to go back into this 11th house of social affairs, and that's going to create, firstly, it's going to soften the blow of Saturn, which is also there. While I'm talking about that, let's bring your attention to this transit of the moon on the 22nd, 23rd. You're going to have that, well, it's a little bit later than that. First, it will make a conjunction of Pluto. You had that for quite a few previous months, that obsessive quality to your work. There it is, there to 24th actually. The full moon taking place in your 11th house with Saturn. That's causing some rifts for many born under the sign of Aries. But as I said, as Jupiter moves back, I'm just trying to see whether that's going to happen. It's moving a little bit slowly here, as you can see. I dare say that may be a transit for next month, but for some of you, you'll be feeling it already, and that is because it's going to go back, create a bit of a review over your social and friendship affairs, your networking, the way you conduct your personal. Well, there it is, right on the 29th. It did actually move back there. So that heralds the beginning of a new cycle of review, working to see how you're going to establish a better rapport with the people in your social vicinity. And that hasn't been easy. So this review is very, very important for you. You'll notice also that while I was yakking away on all of this stuff up here in your career, in your 11th house and your spiritual house, Venus and Mars have made a move, both of them. Venus did it a lot earlier than this, midway through the month, and then Mars has made its way into this area here, which is the work sector. It relates to the locality of your work, and it also has a fair bit to do with your health. Often these two are linked, where you're overworking and you need to calibrate your efforts with some lifestyle changes. It's also important to note that both your ruling planet and the planet ruling your partner are here. So it could be a shared sort of interest in health throughout this month of July, but not till the very end. So I think this is going to carry through into the month of August for you. Your partner, your wife, your spouse, your husband may be subjected to some health concerns at this time. It's interesting to also note that although these two passionate planets moved out of your creative sector, Mercury and Sun moved in there to take over. So I would dare say for the rest of the month, this area of your horoscope is going to be a focus. For the very latter part of the month, taking you back into some concerns over your social and networking affairs. There's more on this if you'd like to join me at astrology.com.au. That's where we have the text versions of this. And of course, we have the daily, weekly, and yearly readings that you can study up on to see exactly where this fits in the context of 2021. Subscribe. Don't forget to click on the subscription button. Drop me a note if you'd like me to answer your questions. And of course, I'm always here if you need a more personal, in-depth reading. I'll see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.